Hello, my name is James Stanzoni. I am a big NBA fan, and I decided to create a podcast. Um, I'm just going to be talking about the NBA at large. Sometimes I'm going to dive deep into the NBA salary cap. It's a big passion of mine to talk about the NBA salary cap. Um, I'm coming from a person who loves math and loves NBA. I figured why not talk about the NBA salary cap? I think it's extremely important to know how your team can improve. A lot of NBA fans want to know why their teams can't make certain moves or make certain signings, trades, etc. During the offseason, during the trade deadline. And what better way to know than know why you can't make those moves or why you can potentially make some of those moves? Things like the Knicks being hard capped at the second apron. That means you cannot go past the second apron, and there's certain reasons why you can't go past the second apron if you trigger certain things. So the Knicks used a portion of their taxpayer mid-level exception, and that hard capped them at the second apron. There are certain things that will hard cap you at the first apron, second apron. But I'm not here to talk about the NBA salary cap right now and the CBA. I'm here to talk about the NBA schedule. I think it's extremely exciting. We got a big year coming up. We got Amazon Prime. We got NBC, um, which is going to be also on Peacock. Still going to have some ESPN, ABC games as well. But there was a huge deal with Amazon Prime. I think it's going to be great for streaming. I know a lot of NBA fans had difficulty watching their own teams or watching games in general during the last few years with cable problems, with rights and TV deals. So I think it's going to be extremely exciting now for teams to finally be able to, for fans to finally be able to watch their teams. And so, yeah, I'm going to be talking about first the Knicks schedule. The Knicks, we learned a few days ago, they open up against the Cleveland Cavaliers on ESPN. So I think the NBA is trying to create this, big rivalry between the Knicks and Cavs. I don't know if, as a Knicks fan or a Cleveland fan, you believe this is a rivalry, but I think the NBA is trying to make it a rivalry or make it, interesting. I think those are the two best teams in the East. So do that with you will. Um, I know Donovan Mitchell was rumored to be a Knick a few years back. I thought he was going to be a Knick. A lot of people thought he was going to be a Knick. Utah played hard, and he ended up going to Cleveland. I think it's best for both teams. I think it worked out for all parties involved. So yeah, the Knicks open up against Cleveland. Like I said, it's going to be in the Garden on ESPN. Then the first Amazon Prime game, as we learned a couple days ago, will be Knicks versus the Boston Celtics. I think that is going to be extremely interesting. It is not going to be a gimme just because they don't have Tatum. They may have lost a guy like an Al Horford, a Luke Cornett, Kristaps Porzingis, and a Drew Holiday. That seems like a lot, but honestly, they still have a really good, well versed, well coached team. I respect the hell out of Coach Missoula. I think he's an incredible coach. Um, so I will never say, oh, this is a gimme for the Knicks. Not at all. Then the Knicks are headed out on a little mini road trip. They're going to be going to Miami, Milwaukee, and Chicago. Then we got a home and home, so it's going to be at Chicago, like I said, and then Chicago's coming to New York to play in the Garden as well. Then we got an easy one. I think it would be an easy one. I still respect a lot of them, the hell out of them, but the Washington Wizards, they're a young team. I think that should be easy for the Knicks to win. Then we got Minnesota. That's going to be a tough, tough game. Those are always very fun games, I believe. Julius Randle, Karl-Anthony Towns, you got that dynamic. Um, so that should be exciting. Then the Knicks will be playing the Brooklyn Nets in the Garden. This is a pretty long homestand. They got about 6 games. One, two, three, four. Yeah, so 7 games at the Garden. So you got Chicago, Washington, Minnesota, Brooklyn, and then it's ends with Memphis, Orlando, Miami. Then they're going to Miami on a road trip. They're going to be playing Miami, Dallas, Orlando, Brooklyn, Charlotte. Um, and then back to the Garden to play Milwaukee and Toronto. Um, then you go into Boston. going to Boston. So far, if I had to say, I believe we should win. I think Cleveland, between Cleveland and Boston, I'll take 1-1. I think we should be able to beat Miami, beat Milwaukee, and beat Chicago. So I mean, I think after the first 5 games, the Knicks should be 4-1. Um, those home and home games. So you got 2 games versus Chicago. I think it's going to be difficult to win both those games. So I'll say 4-2 after 6 games. Then you got Washington. I believe that's a 5-2 record. Minnesota. I'll say we get that W. So 6-2. Brooklyn 7-2. Memphis 8-2. I think Orlando always gives the Knicks a problem. So I'll say the Knicks lose to Orlando. That would be 8-3. And then we got Miami. So I would say home and home. So I'll split those also. I'll say 9-4. Dallas, I think it's going to be difficult versus Cooper Flag and Anthony Davis, but I think the Knicks get it done. So 10-4 after those 14 games. Then you got Orlando. I think we'll get our revenge. 11-4. Brooklyn, 12-4. Charlotte, 13-4. Milwaukee, 14-4. Toronto, 15-4. Boston, I'll say Boston beats us. Okay, so 15-5. Charlotte 16-5, Utah 17-5, Orlando I'll say 17-6. Um, then you got the NBA Cup games. There'll be a little break. Then you got Indiana, so I'll say 18-5. Um, then you got Philadelphia, Miami, Minnesota, Cleveland. So I mean, I think it's going to be extremely interesting. Season for the Knicks. I think these are all very easily winnable games. I think the Knicks should be able to win 55 games this year. They're extremely talented. They have their core. They know what they're doing. I'm not going to go through the entire schedule to bore you, but I'd rather talk about some of the NBA games at large that we've learned about. So I know that there's a rivalry week. Um, I'm going to pull it up. Just give me 1 second. Oh, actually, this is extremely exciting. This is extremely important, I think. Let me just see if I can share my screen. Just give me 1 second. Okay, it's giving me a problem with sharing my screen. Okay, so I'll just talk about it here. Just give me 1 minute. Okay, yeah. So on Sundays, you're going to be seeing ABC games and Peacock games on NBC on Sunday. Then on Monday, you're going to be seeing just on Peacock. Then on Tuesday, they're going to be on NBC and Peacock. Then on Wednesday, ESPN only. Uh, um, then you got Thursday Prime, Friday Prime and ESPN, and Saturday Prime and ABC. Some of the teams that have the most televised games. It says the Lakers at 34, Thunder at 34, Warriors at 34, Knicks at 34, Wolves at 28, and Rockets at 28. I think that's nice that they evenly spread it across the biggest fan bases and sort of the top teams in the NBA. Um, I think you got the Thunder, Knicks, Wolves, Rockets. Those are some of the best teams. I guess Cleveland should be there. I know Cleveland's a little lower at I believe like 24. I mean that's just the reality of the situation. Cleveland could be the number 1 seed, but they're not going to have the biggest. Not going to have the biggest, fan base in the world like a Knicks or a Lakers or a Warriors. So that is the reason why you don't see them at the top there. Some of the fewest televised games are the Bulls, Hornets, Jazz, Nets, Pelicans, Raptors, Wizards, all with well, the Bulls and Hornets have 3 and everyone else has 2. So yeah, those are the teams that I know are always going to be in the lottery. I think the Wizards should actually have some more games. Wizards have an extremely exciting young core. Um, I don't know about the other teams, but yeah, I think the Wizards games are going to be exciting.